morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone, and we're happy you're here with us. Welcome to the Lady Dynamique Anthology Poetry Showcase of Tanzania. I hope we all love poetry here. We can send reactions and interact all through the session. Thank you for coming, Lydia Kisese, Joe Francis. Welcome, welcome. I'm happy to see you all. So, as other people are joining, um, so I found about Lady Dynamic on Instagram, and a lot of my friends know that I write poetry. So I got tagged a lot, and people sent me the reel that you are looking for poems, and that's how I found out. And I submitted my work, and now we have a book,
Yay!
and it's international. Yay! Yay! I'm so happy to be here. Happy to meet you all. Welcome, Renata. Renata is a fellow Tanzanian, so welcome all. I'm so happy to see you. We're gonna start everything at exactly 12 o'clock. It's 12 here, so it's 10 a.m. where you are.
Yeah.
Renata, I see you. Hi. You can send a reaction to keep the room active. Hello, once again. My name is Zainab Wajasho, and I am a university student studying dentistry, which is fun. So let's interact, let's send chats in the chat box, ask questions, and I will be hosting today. I am also a writer, a poet. My Instagram has a few poems. I started posting some, so we can interact there as well. I'm so happy to see all the women in here. It's our month after all. And by the way, it's also our world. Nice to see you all. So I'm going to start while also admitting other people as they're joining in. As I said, I first heard of Lady Dynamic on Instagram, sent a poem, and it's now in a book, which makes me so happy. Being my first publication, being an international publication, that is a big thing happening. Um, the others are also coming in. I know they're also happy and enthusiastic about all of this. Yay! Welcome all, everyone who is joining in. Welcome, welcome. We're so happy to have you here with us today. So, what we're gonna be doing today is that Lady Dynamic is a network of women, and a few of us who have joined recently, from Tanzania. There are others who've been there a while. So we're new, but we are active and enthusiastic about this all. So today's event, it's we know we have a poetry anthology prepared and um published by the Lady Dynamique Network. It has 90 women from all over the globe, I could say. We have people from Nigeria, Kenya, we have people from Tanzania, the USA, we have writers from all over the countries. There's a total of 90 women, and we as Tanzania, we're going to showcase our poetry here today. So all the contributors, all the women contributors who wrote their poems, whose poems are in the book, will be here today. We will showcase our art and we will present to you what's in the book. So welcome all. I hope this will be a very fun, interactive, and um, impactful session. Thank you all for coming. And I have 5 minutes till I give you the room, Madam Nympha. And for now, we can just let others join and they'll meet us where we are. Is that okay?
Yeah, definitely. We had like 10 minutes from 10 a.m. my time to just welcome people. Yeah, definitely. But
Yeah.
I'm very happy to welcome everyone here. Hi, Sheila. I'm so excited to see you. We are finally doing this. Hi, Lydia. Hi, Mariam. Zaina, thank you so much for holding it down so far. You speak really well. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining. It's been really great. So far, the energy has been very inspiring. That's why we, decided that we wanted to do this in the first place. Yeah. So don't worry, when it's time for my speech, I'm going to go into that. But in the absence of more people joining in, we can just, start with what we're doing so that we can, manage time. You understand? Since we have just 2 hours.
Yes.
It's okay. Also, I'd like to welcome Anganile. Hi, Anganile. Anganile is a representative from the citizens. Yeah, so he is here to, observe what we're doing. So it's very important for us to, showcase our best. As we've already you know, just keep up the energy and all of that. So I'm sure that while we move on, he's going to understand better why we are here and, yeah. So welcome everyone. Thank you so much.
So our event today, Lady Dynamic is doing it in collaboration with Bongo Poetry. It's a poetry platform in Tanzania, and there will be a representative from Bongo Poetry joining us today. So there's that, and I hope we all have fun and enjoy the art we all make. Hi, Shayla. Yeah. Let's keep joining. Send our friends the links so they can all join and have fun with us.
Yeah, I just dropped the link. Sorry, is that me? I don't know what
Hold on,
happened.
hold
I hope that's not me. Okay, was that you? Oh, okay. Yeah, because this link was majorly sent via email. So if you didn't have any culture like of reading your emails, probably you wouldn't get it and stuff. But I've also sent the link to the group as well to see how many people joining from there. But yeah. I mean, we have a good number so far, so let's go.
Hi guys. Um, I don't know if I'm. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Sure.
I can
Yes,
hear
yes.
you.
Oh, perfect. Okay, thank you. Hi Lydia, nice to meet you. I can't wait to hear everything you have to say. Zainab, you're doing a great job so far. And yeah, let me wait for my session to speak while people are still joining in.
Yes. Thank you for the shout out. Welcome. Welcome all. Welcome all. Um, let's be active. Let's send reactions. Let's send texts in the chat board. Let's be interactive. Let's get to know each other and let's just have fun. Poetry is all about that. So, yeah. Our event today, for those who joined late, our event today is about showcasing Tanzanian poetry. Um, from the Lady Dynamique book, there were contributors from all over the globe. So today, we Tanzanians are taking over and we're going to show you what we have, what we've written. And I hope you all love us and enjoy it. Yay! I see the flag. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. And by now, I'm supposed to be welcoming Nympha, the founder of Lady Dynamique Network, to give us a short speech and to introduce to us to Miss Lydia. So thank you. Nympha, you're welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. I mean, I would give it to you all, Tanzanians. You have energy. I'm so proud to be associated with you culturally. I only wish I had been there once. I was almost there last week, last year, June, but I already got my visa and everything. But one thing happened and I couldn't take my flight anymore. But I hope to visit again. And I hope when I come, I'm gonna see almost all of you, who are like in the same city that will be in. But yeah, thank you all so much for joining. My name is Nympha Ozougwu, and I'm the founder of the Lady Dynamique Network. For context, I am a Nigerian, but very global at heart. If you know, you know. I currently live in the UK, but part of what has inspired the Lady Dynamic Network has been the need to put women together in the same room to advance women's issues. You can agree with me that there are a lot of things, a lot of challenges from, health issues to societal issues to structural issues that we are trying to bridge the gap with. We've done like a portfolio of programs, of which creating the poetry anthology was just one of them. The poetry anthology also came about because we wanted to bring more women together. Personally, I've always had that dream of being published. Of course, like I still have other works in the pipeline, but I just said to myself, what is better than one woman making an impact? It's a group of women coming together to make the impact louder. So instead of creating an anthology that is just only me who is just, there, why not bring together more women, as much women as can be, and put them together in one book? And that was what we did. And to be honest, the purpose of this book is not just to market it or have people buy it or have people say, oh, you've done a great job. It's the healing it's actually bringing to people. I've gotten several messages about, people saying, "Oh, this poem, mirrored my life so much." So it just shows that not one woman is alone in this situation. Do you understand? And then it's not just also one way to be a woman. There's no one way to be a woman. You can't say you can't just box. Lady Dynamic is not one woman. You can't box her up into a housewife or into a career woman or into a this or into a that. You can box her up, like, so you just have to encompass, I mean, just bring together the different experiences that shape her. Yes, and that was what inspired us. And I'm so happy that we got over 172 submissions on this poetry, but then we chose 90 women, and I'm very grateful that eight of them are from Tanzania. Of course, we had our first launch in February, of which we announced it. The first launch in February happened, and it was great. You also saw the video. So after that one, our Tanzanian sister said, "You know what? Give us a platform." And I want to thank Sheila here. Sheila is a very great force. Sheila is our country representative in Tanzania. She is a very great force. I'm so happy and honored to be, you know, part of her life in such a way that she came in and was like, you know what, we can do this in Tanzania, we can do that in Tanzania. And because not every of our contributors were in the same city, we decided because of accessibility, we want to do a virtual event. And to be honest, the aim is not lost, because at the end of the day, we'll hear each other, would connect with each other, would understand what we have to do, and of course, be in the news as well. Thanks to Angaline, who is present here. I'm so grateful that just at one call, you decided that you wanted to be a part of this. He was like, because it's Tanzania, he wants to be here. So I'm just so excited that we have that sense of togetherness as it is in your country. I'm Nigerian, but like I said, I'm very global at heart, and I'm very excited at what we can achieve beyond this particular project. Of course, the success of this one is leading up to more successes in the future. Yes, and just stay with us, stay with us, stay with us. That's what I can say. Stay with us. So, yeah, it's a thank you. How do you say thank you in Tanzania? Is it asante or asante or how do you say it? Yeah, asante. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I will also say thank you to Lydia, who's going to be coming up after me. Lydia is the co-founder of Poetry 255, as we all know it. I'm sure you've heard of Lydia one way or the other. I've had the opportunity to speak to her very briefly. She is a very great person as it relates to her experiences in poetry. And she would come on board and tell us more about herself, as well as what she's going to be sharing. Of course, the topic today is finding strength through poetry, right? So we want to also see how poetry can elevate us as women. Poetry can create healing and make us more wholesome individuals for the society at large. Because at the end of the day, we're not training ourselves for ourselves. Yes, as women, we're not training ourselves for ourselves. We're training ourselves for the society, for both ourselves and the society. So it's not the aim is lost if what we have is just for ourselves. Do you understand me? So let's keep on keeping on. Let's keep on with the togetherness. Let's keep on with the impact. Because to be honest, the plan is for this book to be exhibited or presented in as much places as possible. And by God's grace, last week this book was presented at the Bell House Dulwich in London. It was also presented at the University of East London on the 8th of March in honor of International Women's Day. And as we move on, we also hope for more women's voices to be heard. So that means I could decide, okay, if this poem is presented in France, for instance, Faith's poem, Faith's Walima Andre, she is here. Faith's poem could be read, and people hearing her voice, even in her absence. I don't know if you get me. There's power in that. There's power in people listening to what you've written and what what you've put together and finding meaning in it, even in your absence. That is what impact for us is all about. I don't want it to be that I have to be present for there to be an impact, right? I don't have to be in Kenya I don't have to be in Tanzania for me to make an impact. Do you understand me? I don't have to be here or there for me to make an impact, but based off on the little things that I do, other people find meaning inside it, find strength inside it, and even take it for themselves into their own communities. So I'm so excited to hear from Lydia as well, because I'm having another session, another meeting from 1 p.m. today my time. And I'm going to be talking poetry as a means of strength. So it's going to give me some insight. So I'd like to stop here. But again, thank you all so much, Sheila, Angaline, Lydia, Zainab, and every other person that is here and that has, contributed to the success of this event as it is. So thank you all so much. Thank you. Thank you. Right, so sorry. I had an assignment. I had a little assignment, and that was to, welcome Lydia. Again, like I said, Lydia is the co-founder of Poetry 255 and Asusa Creative Network, and she's going to tell us more about herself. But most importantly, she's going to be speaking and sharing her own story about finding strength in poetry. So, with a show of emoji and with some excitement in your smiles, welcome Miss Nyachiro Lydia Kasese. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that warm introduction. How are you guys? How is everybody? If you guys don't mind, can you just like drop into the chat which country you're joining us from? I just want to see what the demographic looks like. I want to see how many countries we've got here. So please just drop in your country in the chat where you're coming from. And if you're in Tanzania, you can drop them Koa. That means the region. Okay, so I see Tanzania there, Tanzania there, UK there, Tanzania Mbeya. Okay, two people from Mbeya. Okay. Mwanza, hey Ruth. Okay, all right. So I see it's mostly Tanzanians, one from the UK. Okay, karibuni sana guys. I am excited to be here. When Yusra reached out to me and said, "Hey, would you like to, would you be open to having a chat during this event?" I was like, "Whoa, tell me more." Anything that involves a woman, especially Black women, that is something that, excites me. And so this is not going to be a speech, guys. This is a hangout session, okay? We're going to interact. I'm going to share poems. You're going to tell me what you think about the poems. I'm going to tell you about my history with poetry. I'm also going to ask for some volunteers to read two pieces. So if you're feeling, if you want to read a poem, get ready to raise your hand when I get to that place. So as Nympha had said, my name is Nyachiro Lydia Kasese. I am a poet, a creative writer, and a filmmaker. I am based in Dar, and I run an organization called Asusa Creative Writers Initiative, alongside my co-founders Zuhura and Gervas. Um, yeah, okay. I think that's about it about me for now. I'm going to start by sharing a poem with you guys. I'm going to share it on the screen. But the poem is from this book. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Miss Koleka Putuma. She's an amazing, sorry, they're an amazing South African poet. And I believe this was their first collection. And we are going to have a look at the poem Growing Up Black and Woman. So just give me a moment to just share my screen. Where's the share button? Oh, there we go. Okay. Can you see my screen? Is
Yeah.
it legible? Okay. So I'm going to read this piece. Growing up Black and Woman. We'll teach you how to hoard skeletons, how to duct tape your screams with staples so everyone can flip to the next page without hassle. Numbering is kept at the expense of your sanity. If our underwear drawers could speak, they would bleed, I tell you. Pillows would hemorrhage on our behalf. The unfortunate thing about healing is it convinces you that the pain is better than a scab. Scabs make people ask questions. Okay. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Were you all able to hear the poem? Were you able to see it and go through it, just react?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I would like to ask you, I know in my initial question in my notes, I was going to ask the women, but I do see that we have a number of men in the chat. So I'm gonna ask you as humans, have any of you in your human experience experienced the story, or experienced something that they have never shared with anyone? You don't have to tell me what it is, but you can just react or, raise your hand. Do you have an experience or a story within you that you've never shared with anyone? Okay, okay. I mean, and I would be surprised if there's anyone who doesn't, because I think that's part of the human experience, right? And the kind of society that we live in, we carry a lot of shame with us. We carry a lot of baggage with us. We're scared of being judged. We're scared of telling our truths, and all of that lovely stuff. So I'm going to give you a little bit of an introduction into who I am, and my journey in poetry. I grew up in a family of two parents who came from two different countries. My father is Tanzanian and my mother is Zambian. And my mother was very intent on us reading at a very early age. She provided us with books. By the way, just as an aside, um, I was discussing with one of my siblings about our childhood, and I was like, "Yeah, no, we used to read a lot. We used to read a lot." And they're like, "No, we didn't used to read a lot. You used to read a lot. The rest of us were playing with dolls." And that I thought that was interesting because I assumed we're all reading together. But yeah, I have been reading for a long time. I love reading. I spent a lot of time in, other worlds. And for me, my thing with reading, which is similar to film and art and creative, is that representation, right? I think for me, representation has been one of like the most important things in my life because um I'm able to see people who are like me, people who have experienced what I've experienced, and that makes me feel less alone. That makes me think, okay, if they're doing okay, there must be solutions out there to what um what I'm going through. So I used to also write, as a therapeutic way, as a way to sort of try and make sense of myself, my body, my experiences, in a world where I existed as a woman, as a non-light-skinned woman, in a skinny body, with a flat chest, and all of that stuff. Um, Sorry. I think a lot of my works are very personal to me. And I think you will see once we come to the reading of the poems, I'm going to share two of my poems. They're very personal to me, and I think in a way through that I'm documenting my life, and the lives of women like me when I write poetry. Nympha was talking on early on about how people have reached out to her about the content in the book and said, "Hey, I can see myself in this book. I can see myself in these poems. I can see myself in these women." And I think that's something that poetry does really well, or rather allows us to do, right? Especially as women, it allows us to be able to document our experiences and document our lives. I must say though, that this hasn't always been an easy experience, especially as a firstborn Black girl coming from a very devout Christian family. Um, so I remember like in my early 20s, when I'd started writing, there's a time I had, I started getting published, and I also had a column in the newspaper. And my mother pulled me aside just when I was starting off. And she said, something along the lines of, hey, do not shame our family with your writing. And I carried that with me for a long time. I was like, okay, wow, okay. And to some extent I kind of felt like I had to what's that word when you have to like hold yourself back to like it's like I see it in my head, but it's like it's not there in my tongue. um I have to censor, yes, censor, right? I have to censor myself. I have to censor my experiences. But also like, you know, at the end of the day, our lives are ours, right? Our experiences are our experiences, and we're the ones who get to live the life that we live. And so I learned a long time ago to make decisions for myself. Um, and yeah, to conclude this section, with in the words of Miss Giselle Pellicott, if you guys are familiar with her and her story, shame must change sides. All right. So now we're going to read two of my pieces. And I'm going to ask for volunteers, two volunteers to read these pieces. And I think you guys, I'd like to hear what your thoughts are on these pieces, with regards to what I've spoken about shame, I'll be honest with you, my family hasn't seen these pieces yet. So this is sort of like my first time-ish putting them out in public, and I'm just keen to hear what your thoughts are on that. So can I have two volunteers, please? Let's see. I don't see anyone, guys. No. Oh, I see Joe Francis. His hand is up. Is there another hand that's up that I don't see? Come on, guys. Don't be shy. Or should I choose? Because if you, hey, guys, me, I like choosing. Hey, I love to choose. Okay, Zainab. Okay, thanks. So Joe Francis and Zainab will read the pieces. So just give me a moment. Allow me to share my screen again. Mm. Okay, so this first piece that Joe will read is called I Lost My Teeth in a Fight. Okay, Joe, can you see that clearly?
Yes, I can.
Go ahead and
Uh,
read.
all right, all right. Um, my father tries to kill me twice before the age of 12. Both times I'm a tiny thing on the floor. He breaks the branch of a jacaranda tree on my skin and I lose my voice. In both scenarios, he screams, I will kill you. In both scenarios, my mother stands by and watches me die. In both scenarios, I am unsure of the things I have done that deserve death. In both scenarios, I die. I learned that there is no heaven for children that die at the hands of their fathers. There is no heaven for children whose mothers stand by and watch them die, because maybe they deserved it. I tell my girlfriend of how my father has dreams of killing me. She tells me when she was 10, her father stuck his hands down her clothes during afternoon naps and held on to her privates. I cry on her carpet. She says, if men could rape us and get away with it, they would. Every single one of them. I cry some more in the dark. I spend that week in a suitcase. A man touches my name as I introduce myself. My father destroyed the fight in me when I was a child. I think that boy only raped me because I lost my teeth in a fight. I think I think too much of the past. I think maybe if I had the courage to leave this body, my teeth would grow back.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you. What do you guys think? Should we do both the pieces and then discuss, or do you want to like have a little conversation about this one and then move on to the next one? What are you guys feeling? What are your thoughts?
I think we should discuss them as they come. So if we've done this, we discuss it, and then that's me. Um,
Okay.
but
Okay.
this poem really made me angry. It evoked the anger in me. Because I can so much relate to experiences of people being hurt by the people who are supposed to protect them. Do you understand? That's a different
Mm-hmm.
kind of hurt. If it's coming from a stranger, okay, you could say a stranger is a stranger. A stranger is designed to hurt you. But for figures that have been used here, like father, like friends, to be honest, it evokes anger. And if I'm to complete that poem, we'll look for a soft punishment to add to the layers of what happens after somebody who is supposed to protect somebody hurts them. So yeah, for me, it's just evoked a sense of anger in me. Yeah.
Thank you, Nympha. Lisa, I see your hand is up.
Me? Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
So this poem actually, like Nympha, it also stirred something in me because to me, even if it wasn't apparent, but the fact that someone is being harmed and another person who is actually capable of protecting you is there and not doing it, I think I would have, my reaction is totally raging because like, how do you grow up knowing that somebody who harmed you is free at large, moving around, while there are people who could have helped you and they kept quiet? It just shows us that people are still in that mentality that abusers will always get the support and victims will always be alone. That's the feeling I got hearing that poem, because this father will still do the same thing over and over again, and the mother will always be quiet. And as we know, in many cultures, no matter how much you speak, we will just be told we are disobedient. So the poem is very painful for me.
Thank you. Thank you, Lisa. Okay. If there's nothing else, I'd like to move on to
Sorry,
the second.
Lydia.
Yes, yes,
I
yes.
would like to I would like to add something. I think from what I've gathered from the poem is also with the, let me call it the African narrative of the girl child also, where in most cases, let's say for right now, times are changing, of course, but in most cases whereby let's say the last generations before us have grown up in situations whereby you were taught to always be quiet and listen and all that as a girl child. So I think this also resonates with the fact that this is like an African setting of whereby a lot is happening to me, but I'm not in a position to speak and I'm not supposed to. So that's what I also gathered from that. Yeah.
Thank
So we
you.
have we
Uh-huh.
have a message in the chat box by
Oh,
Marge.
okay.
They're saying the
Yes.
poem really captivated me and had me hooked, especially the first part. I was glued to my screen reading it. Very well written and very, very deep.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I will talk a bit more about this poem and the next one because they're kind of sort of related, you know. I'll talk a bit more about them after we're done. So I'm gonna move on to the second piece. So actually, Zainab, your hand went up around the same time I saw Lissa's hand go up. If it's okay, Zainab, because you're the moderator, are you okay allowing Lissa to read that poem so she
Yes,
can
I
also
am.
have a chance? Okay, Lissa, are you okay reading?
Yes.
Are you still interested?
Yes, yes.
Okay. All right. The second piece is called The Thing That Followed Me Around. Okay. Are you able to see clearly, Lissa? If you are, please go ahead and read. I will scroll down for you as the page keeps going.
Actually, I think somebody else should read it because my screen isn't very much showing what is written here. I only see
Oh,
black.
okay. Okay. No worries. No worries. Paul, I see your hand up. Please go ahead if you'd like to read. Karibu sana Paul, by the way.
Okay, I
Hello,
can see.
hello.
Hello,
Hi,
Paul.
Paul.
Tunakusikia. Karibu.
Asante. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the poem is The Thing That Followed Me Around. The clinical psychiatry on YouTube tells me that the difference between guilt and shame is that guilt means I did something wrong. And shame said that I'm the thing that is wrong. He says shame. 1. The feeling of being valued by others. 2. Being rejected by our community because you went against the grain. 3. Comes from the universal wish to be loved. I now have a name for the thing. That followed me around, attempted to kill me. With growing up in my parents' house, I have always felt like the thing that was wrong in my family. Their worry monga, their tear jerker, their prayer point, confession. 1. Sometimes I cannot tell the difference between the parts of me that are me and the parts of me that are the trauma. Confession. 2. In the world I dream up where everyone is perfect, I'm able to bring the truth to my parents, hand it to them with the confidence and urgency required. My parents, my fighters, envelop me, set ablaze everything, everyone that has ever been in me.
Okay. Mhm. I'm sorry, guys. I know I deal with heavy topics.
Yeah. No, I'm sad.
I
Actually,
feel so bad for you.
I
At
would
least
like
I'm prepared.
to.
I read the pieces before, so I'm sorry, guys.
No. It's fine. I think these are also topics that should be discussed more often. So let's not look at them as like sad ones. These are things that we also need to talk about in order for us to be able to express them instead of remaining oppressed and going through a lot without having an outlet. So yeah, I think it's a good thing that we're actually doing this.
Mm, mm.
Actually, this second poem has more rage than the first one.
Yeah.
It has more emotion. It's
And I can see
very
people actually want to give you hugs.
Okay, guys.
Exactly.
Thank you. Thank you.
So what I took from this is like being the person who carries all the weight of others, like carrying the traumas, helping them process them, but you have nowhere to run to.
Mm,
So that makes me feel the loneliness, which was writing this.
mm,
Yeah.
mm. Okay.
Um,
So, oh, go ahead, Emanuela Karibu.
Asante. Lydia, I think that one, your poetry is so raw, so honest, so real, and it's deeply spoken to my emotions. And I feel that sometimes we have to show up in the world and conceal parts of parts of us that are actually very real and true, but we fear at times that the majority of people might not be able to understand us and where we come from. And maybe writing is the way that you let that out, because the people that we should trust, the people that should be there to support us, for instance, our parents, etc., might not understand or view it the way that we view it. So I think both your poems were beautifully written, and they speak to me in so many ways. Yeah, hugs to you. I'd like to say something.
Yes, yes, please.
Lydia, first of all, what I will always say to most women that share with us, because we always have this ritual every month where we just bring women together to talk about stuff. I like to appreciate your vulnerability, yes, but
Mhm.
I feel like a woman who has written something has conquered the world, because it takes a lot of getting over that situation, or a lot of, throwing shame into the mud to write
Mhm.
what you've written. Do you understand me? And to even present it in a public space where people can actually. So
Yeah.
it just means that shame is no longer that thing anymore. Do you understand? For us to even see, to be honest, I will tell you there are a lot of things like this that have not been, presented physically for people to see, and that's because that shame hasn't been conquered. So what I see is not just the vulnerability in the poem, but also the strength that has been conveyed because you just shared it. And what I also like to say is that I appreciate the men in the room as well, because when people say, "Oh, we do this stuff and it's just all about women," no, it's not all about women. I mean, when we have events like this, we also want the men to come and contribute, to come and listen, because it's a same side situation. Like, you have to understand me for me to understand you. So again, thank you for your vulnerability, and thank you to the guys also for listening and participating. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, I don't want to take up too much. Oh, someone else wants to speak? I'm not going to stop you. Lisa, go ahead.
Okay, I want to add something. I mean, from the poem, we get that feeling of being the black sheep, you know,
Mhm.
because we talk about being different, about having things you can't name. I mean, most families, as in most families, those people who have different opinions, who questions everything, are usually black sheep. So in this point, I get that feeling that they're feeling being the black sheep. They want to see things that nobody else does. They want to feel things that feel like nobody's feeling the same way. And if you ever try to bring them out, maybe you will be a very wrong. That's the feeling I get while reading this poem. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Anyone else? If
So
not,
we get
go ahead, go ahead.
okay, okay.
No, no, no,
So
please, please, I
we
want to hear you.
okay. So we have the feeling. We feel like the black sheep, the one who is always carrying other people's burdens and our own. So how do we get out of there? Or is it just we should, I think mental health is very important, and this could result in bad things. So
Hmm.
how are we
Hmm.
getting out of there? Do we seek help? I think we should address that as well.
Okay, okay. Um,
Yes.
I would like to answer that. I think there's going to be a Q&A section after this, so
Mm-hmm.
just note that down and then bring it up, and then we can all discuss together, because I am not the expert on human life. All of us are humans here.
Okay.
We're all experts
Yes.
in humaning, so we can have that discussion. So I just wanted to say that the reason I'm going to stop sharing this and just so I can just see you all again. So the reason I'm sharing these poems are for two reasons, right? For me, writing poetry, as I said, is a way of documenting my life and my experiences, but it is also a way of healing myself, and not just myself, but women out there as well that are interacting and engaging with my piece. if I keep my stories to myself, I feel as if I am not doing the world justice, right? Why should I not, share my experiences so someone else can learn through them, right? You know, essentially the poems are a story of, at least for me, if I'm to summarize them, like both of those pieces are stories of how the home life broke down the child in such a way that when things happened in the world, the child did not have a safe space to be able to come and share those things. And so because of all of those things happening, of course, then the child's experiences are difficult. And then the parents are like, oh no, why is this a difficult child? Why are you being like this? Why are you being like that? But no one is actually taking the time to try and see that, hey, wait, this isn't something here isn't right. What is going on? You know, I do want to say though that a testament to my parents, they have come a really, really long way. They have educated themselves. They have become open-minded. My parents are Sabato, Seventh-day Adventists. If you know anything about Seventh-day Adventists, you can imagine how tough they were, but they have really, really come a long way. And for me, I know you guys might be feeling bad. You might be feeling, for me, these are things that when I wrote them, I really felt healed. I think for those of you that write, you know that feeling, right? You get that feeling like when you pour your heart out on a piece of paper, you feel it, you feel like there's a difference, and so for me, that's what that was. So it was a way for me to heal myself. I don't know how my parents will think. I don't know if they'll think I'm trying to shame them, but it's more for me than it is for them. Also, another thing, low key, I'm trying to provoke a conversation because then I'm assuming someone will confront me and I'll be like, so what do you think? Do you think you did something wrong? So I'm interested to kind of see, how this plays out. And we're in a space where we're able to have conversations and agree to disagree with my parents. So yeah, I'm rounding up. Let me just see. Let me have a look at my schedule for you guys. Let me see if I've left anything out. Uh,
So
okay.
we have a
Yes.
text here. It
Yes, please.
says, "It's sad, but honest truth. At the end of the day, strangers realize what's wrong with us more than our families could.
Mm-hmm.
We start
Mm-hmm.
seeking help, confused about identity, and fail to confidently call home our safe haven." Ruth Mlawa. That touched me.
That is absolutely true. By the way, guys, people that
Yeah.
saved me were older women. I know when we're young girls, we think, yeah, we know everything. For me, it was older women. In my early 20s, when I just come back to Tanzania and I was going through like my mental health struggles, Mama Demary, I'm sure some of you may be familiar with Mama Demary. Mama Demary was like, look, you're not okay. You are not okay. Here's a friend of mine who's a therapist. Talk to her. And you're right, yeah, like sometimes it takes like people, outside your circle to be able to see what you're going through. And that's why for me, as an example, I will always advocate being, friends with an older Black woman, or I guess an older woman of any race, I guess. Yeah.
I think
Paul
um
there's.
says,
Oh, sorry.
y-
uh,
yes, yes.
Yeah,
I think
this
being,
comment that Ruth Malawa did right now just made me remember that yeah, I've just recently gone through a very terrible loss of somebody that's very dear to me.
Oh,
And
sorry.
but I've not really been able to share the grief, yeah. But then I shared my grief after a session, after a poetry event I had with someone, and the first instinct was she gave me a gift. She just ordered a gift on Amazon for me, and it arrived at my doorstep. And I was like, I just put it on my WhatsApp. I was like, strangers, cheer louder, you know. I mean, because even people that know that you are going through that particular stuff are not like attending to you in the way that you would want them to. And you can't do anything because you can't control how other people see, other people can actually relate with you regarding what you're going through. But I can relate to the fact that, strangers can actually be that for you. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. Okay, I see Zainab has said 8 minutes. I had a mini activity for you guys, but I don't think we have enough time. I'm just going to ask, maybe we could just go into the Q&A section for the last 8 minutes. If people have any questions, anything they want to share, Please, I love to engage. I love to talk to people. I love to hear people. So please, let's hang out.
So back to my question. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I think writers feel more than other people. I don't know if that's true, but I think we feel more and express more, so we're more sensitive. And if somebody is sad, we all get sad, but we feel it at a much deeper level. So, as asked before, how do we get out of there? We can all like give ourselves
So
answers. We can all
how do
participate
we
in this.
if I understood your question, like basically how do we get out of a dark place if we're in a dark place?
Yes, yes. How do we
Okay.
deal with the problems, the ghosts, the demons in our minds?
Okay. I see Sheila, you've got your hand up.
Yeah, I think first and foremost, getting out of a dark place is a process, yeah. It's not like
Yeah.
a 1 2 day thing. Um it's okay, getting out of a is healing, right? And this is a process, but before anything begins, you first have to come to terms with the fact that something is not right. That's the beginning of now heading to heal. Like, you have to come to terms with the fact that you're not okay, or there's something going on that's not right. And then from there is when you can look for different methods that are going to help you cope with whatever it is that you're going through. But first, understanding the fact that you believe.
Thank you so much for that, Sheila. I also want to add, guys, one of the most important things I've learned in life is to forgive yourself. Yani, learn how to forgive yourself, my people. You're a human. You're living life for the first time. We're all living life for the first time. Don't be hard on yourself as well. You are human. You have to learn how to forgive yourself. And the thing is, when you don't forgive yourself, you are constantly living within your failure. You're constantly living within your trauma. You're constantly living within, whatever it is that's holding you back. But the moment you forgive yourself, you even open up room for blessing. You open up room for solutions. You open up room to see outside what you cannot see. But if you don't forgive yourself for whatever it is, you will constantly be stuck in that space.
We
Um,
have, can I go on?
yes, yes.
Joe Francis is asking, thank you so much for sharing wonderful work with us. How has your writing evolved over the years and where do you see it going?
Um, my work is very experimental right now. It's experimental. Also, I am trying to do work that isn't just about me. I think because I did so much work that was about me when I was going through a hard time, and now I've healed. Well, I haven't healed, but like, my problems are different. Um, to some extent. But also, I'm challenging myself to work with different formats. So, for example, in December, I was part of a retreat of Black poets, the Obsidian, that's run by Nick Makoha, if any of you are familiar with him. And in one of the sections, we're talking about adding texture to your poetry, right? How do you add texture to your poetry to keep your user engaged, right? Being able to write poetry in different formats. I do have other poems in different forms, but they were not really relevant to this event today. But I do have some pieces where I played with form that I'm really, really excited for. So when I say play with form, I'm talking about doing different things like using bullet points, using spaces, just playing around and trying to see how we can bring texture on paper. Additionally, I'm doing archival work as well. So by archival work, I'm talking about basically excavating and archiving my life as a Black woman, but also the life of my family, right? I am currently working on a body of work that's called Archiving My Father's Youth. And this is basically me saying, you know what? Let me understand who my father was in his youth and how he came to be the man that he was for me as a daughter growing up, right? Because now he's a different man. But the rough relationship I had with him at that point came from somewhere, right? And so I've been doing research at the, like historical research, looking at stuff around the time that he was born in. I also have been talking to family members. I've talked to my mom. I found out so much information about my dad. Apparently, he was romantic. I had no idea. He was also a slick man. He like doubled some other man to get my mom. So like I learned all of these things, and like my aunt talk about how he like I heard when he went to visit. I when I said about I told my mom is Zambian. So when he went to visit her family for the first time in Zambia, and my dad, by the way, is a man from the village. My mom came from a family of professors, but my dad was from the village and he was going to Zambia for the first time. And one of the memories they told me is, he would just come to their house, and the grass was long or whatever, and he'd just cut grass. That's literally all he did. Like he was like trying to impress the family. So I learned so much about him that also allowed me to sympathize with him. So that's kind of the work I'm doing now. I'm trying to move outside of myself and also do work that is about other people as well outside of myself. Yeah. Yeah. That was a long answer.
So I think Angalini has something to say, if we can, allow him. Yeah.
Yes, please, Karibu.
Asante. So I just had a small question. It's like how do you plan to elevate the poetry society in Tanzania to the global stage? Because now I'm seeing all this collaboration with other countries. Do you plan to carry that on and sort of keep elevating it?
Yeah. So for this poetry, oh, you're talking about the Lady Dynamique Poetry Collection, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. For this poetry, like I said, we started off in Nigeria. This is contribution from 90 women from 9 countries of the world. We started off in Nigeria with a launch that gathered poets and collaborators in Nigeria as well. So we've showcased it in Nigeria, and we are doing this one with Tanzanians. The next one is gonna be on the 11th of April with Miss Malawi. We are going to be having a chat with Miss Malawi on this poetry. She's gonna be online with us on the 11th of April. And then in May, we're having a big showcase in London, where we're going to be talking about the poetry, and it's going to be in collaboration with a legendary poet called Anna Robinson. It's I'm very excited about that one because we're going to be having like a live showcase of some of the poets. So I might have to reach out to some of our contributors across different places to say, oh, you know what, make a voice of your poem so that it could be showcased in public, because at that moment we're going to be having collaborations with people from just not just Africa but Europe and all. So yeah, we have plans of, like I said, it's not about marketing this book for us to sell. Of course, we are raising funds for women's creative education because we believe that we believe that we've done something that can empower more women, because if we sell a book, it gets into women's empowerment. However, it's not just about the marketing, but about the impact it's bringing into spaces, about the conversations it's sparking. You just saw how Lydia read her poem and everybody's talking about it. When you read some of the poems in this book, you're gonna talk. So it's that conversation that we want to spark, that dialogue, that's helping other people see women in a very broad light, because we're not talking about just one woman. We can't box up a woman. So yeah, there are plans to elevate this book. There are plans to go beyond what we are right now. There are plans to do more of this showcase. There are plans to do peer reviews. I'm very excited about this also. I'm going to be reaching out to, oh God, I'm going to be reaching out to Lydia and Bongo. We're going to be doing like peer reviews. Yeah, I'm very excited about peer reviews where we have on the spot reviews. Read your poem and we'll criticize it, because I've been going through some literary classes so far with Anna Robinson, and I see how she's like, you know what, this could be better with your poem, this could be better. We just teach women how to write better, how to express themselves, because I feel like writing brings healing. So that's just it. So yeah, plans are on. Thank you. Yeah. Any other question?
I have my hand up. I sort of also in a way want to answer Anganila's question. First of all, I want to start by saying like congratulations to the young ladies from Tanzania. Like to have 8 Tanzanian women in a publication. That's amazing. So shout out to all of you. Some of the women I've worked with before in our organization, like Ruth. For example, Faith, I've worked with her. I've worked with Paul, of course, we've known each other for so many years. Um, oh, she's not one of the writers, but yeah. Hongera sana to the women. But also I wanted to say, so us as an organization, as SUSA, we just won a grant from Nafasi. It's called the Nafasi Feel Free Grant. And we're so excited about this because it's going to basically be a milestone for Tanzanian poetry, right? And the project that we pitched was Wahenga Wapya, um, which basically is going to be an archive of Tanzanian poets, right? An online archive of Tanzanian poetry. We do not have one as of yet. There are so many Tanzanian poets, young, old, women, men, all over the country that do their work as an oral thing, and we because Tanzania has a very oral tradition. So we have a lot of like really talented poets here, and so we're basically going to create an audio archive of Tanzanian poetry. So to the Tanzanian poets that are here, please be on the lookout for that opportunity. For the first phase of the project, we want to start with 50 poets, and eventually we want to get to a point where these poets can be able to also earn money from that platform. When are they yet? That is probably like phase 3 or 4 or 5. But for right now, we're really excited with where we're at, and just be on the lookout for that opportunity. I would really, really be glad to see your pieces. I've read the pieces in the book, and I'm very impressed with what you guys have to offer. And I'm excited for the stories you're going to tell about Tanzanian young women, about your lives. So yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for this experience, guys. I really enjoyed talking to y'all. I enjoyed engaging with you all. Thank you for engaging with me, for interacting with me. I really, really appreciate it. Please feel free to reach out to me. As I said, I love a good engagement. I love to talk. I'm a nosy person. So hit me up, people. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you so much.
Lydia. Sorry, before we get to you, Zainab, sorry, I'm gonna, hand over to you because I'm going to be getting very busy very soon. But I want to say thank you so much. And you see what we're trying to achieve, Angaline. We want a situation where when people engage with this, they're able to see the talent in our work and say, oh, you know what, I want to work with this person. Get me this person's contact, get me this person's name, get me this person's this, and that kind of thing. So having this kind of opportunity coming from Lydia, I sincerely appreciate it. We're also going to, put that out in our community to say, okay, you know what, just be on the lookout at, Azaza Creative Initiatives and, but yeah, thank you so much for that very vulnerable session, very expository and very interactive. Over to you, Zainab.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Miss Lydia. Thank you, Miss Nympha. And that was a very powerful discussion. I got to feel so many feelings, got to open Lydia's brain for some time. I'm pretty sure there's so many more things to get out of that. So, as we are 7 minutes behind schedule, so we're going to start with presentations. Every participant is going to present their poems. I'm going to be the first one to do it. Then Faith comes after me. Then Lisa, Patricia, Renata, Ruth, and Emanuela. All of us are in here, yes? And I'm going to start. I'm going to share my screen now as we have very little time. The time that was allocated for this was not enough. Anyways, we're gonna make it work. We are all yappers. I'm trying to. Can I just read without sharing my screen?
Yes, you can read. For people that have the poem, you can just tell them the okay, yeah. We had I know you have a peculiar issue, but yeah, you can read you can read
Okay.
out. Yeah, definitely.
So
I will also want a
my
section
poem.
where sorry, if you can read and then we can provide one feedback for each poem, one feedback for each poem. So we can now scrape the initial, like the ending feedbacks. You get what I mean? So yeah, just to
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so my poem is about how society tells women how to live, what to be, and it's about how I am pissed off at that. So here it goes. So somebody says, as a woman, you're supposed to. And this is my reply. Oh, shut up and shut that trap. You don't get to tell me what I can and cannot do. You don't get to dictate what I'm supposed to be, how myself I'm supposed to see, or how I climb up this tree of life. Or when I become a wife, as I said, it's my life. It always feels like something it always feels like everything is a trap to benefit someone who is not me. How they try to make dollars of my insecurities, pretending they care, and they even dare to say they want to make me pretty. Why should I care if I have freckles on my face or hair growing on my knees or how my weight as a burden you see? Or how my voice is not sweet enough, or how my tummy isn't flat enough, or how I'm not skinny enough to fit in this image you've created, which in my mind I've always debated. You are beautiful, inside and out, full of potential. Yourself, you shouldn't doubt. Your power cannot be cut by anyone unless you let them. You can do anything, whatever you want, and you can be anyone. It's all in your reach. You just have to want it enough to go out there and get it. Sometimes it might be rough and sometimes things get tough, but in the end, it always ends with a laugh. You gotta give yourself praise, and your voice you should raise. Giving up is not in question. With all our might, we should fight the oppression. Thank you. That's it.
Wow.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Amazing. Let's have one reaction on this poem, please. One reaction. I love the excitement. This is the purpose of this poetry collection,
Mhm.
just to ignite that excitement inside of us. So please, if you have any reaction and any feedback to give to Zainab, that would be good. Yeah, and then we can move to the next person.
Thank you.
Okay, if we don't have any feedback, we can just all, type it into the um comment section. But yeah, over to you, Zainab.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, I should do it slower. Okay. Thank you. Um so now Faith is coming up next to read her work, which was in the book. Faith, are you here? The stage is yours.
I'm not sure Faith is here. You can move to the next person.
Lisa, can you go next?
Okay,
Lisa
my poem
Likasi.
is. I'm here. I'm
Yes,
here.
thank you. Thank you.
You can
Yeah,
hear
you're
me, right?
welcome. Yes.
So my poem is called Black Woman. I wrote it for every woman who is always insecure and for myself.
So here it goes. Oh, Black woman, you are more than the color of your skin. You are more than the shade of your eyes. You are more than your kinky hair. You are more than that. You are beautiful. Oh, Black woman, you are more than the thickness of your lips. You are more than the weight of your thighs. You are more than the size of your breasts. You are more than your body. You are beautiful. Oh, Black woman, look at yourself in the mirror and remember, you are a Black girl with black hair. You took a little sun kiss to look like this. God sent you. You are an angel. Heaven knows you. They love you. You are more than your color. You are beautiful. Oh, Black woman, you are more than your past and your culture. Your feet are a source of joy. You are more than a creation. You're a masterpiece. You are the earth whose skin you are. You are more than the eyes of the society. You are more than what you go through. You are more than your scars. You are beautiful. I wrote this for anybody who ever feels insecure because I am a person who, even here and right now recording is very high pressure for me because like I'm not used to making my face seen most because in most of my time I am less pretty, less attractive. So on that day when there was this specific person who drew me as we were in a meeting and he decided to draw me. And after he drew me, he was like, you have a very welcoming aura. And he enjoyed my presence, even for that short time. And that was when I realized that most of us are always focused on how we look, on how we dress, on how we behave, on how we speak. We forget that people just see us and just see us. So that's why I wrote this poem. So for anyone, and also because I like Black people. I mean, if I could choose another universe, I'll want to come back as Black. So yeah, anybody feeling down today, insecure today, especially those people who are always told that you're overweight, underweight, too skinny, too fat, this one is for you. Thank you.
That was so powerful. Thank you.
Yeah, it was.
Do
I'd
we
like
have
to make a
comments?
comment.
Yeah.
Yes. First, sorry. I'd like to make a comment. Zainab and Lisa, your poems. Thank you guys for making everybody feel beautiful. Thing I are beautiful, and they're just empowering for anyone that is support and right now I'm feeling really beautiful. Thank you guys. For Lisa, it takes like 1,000, what can I say, 1,000 decades for anyone to make you feel any type of way, especially when it comes to your beauty. So if anything, sit down and write more poems on that. There's no room for feeling, there's no room, and in fact, I don't even know where people get that audacity from, because we're all made in God's image and it's unique. Unique is beautiful. I mean, why be basic when you can always stand out, you know? So you guys, the work is beautiful. Thank you so much. As for Lydia, I'm in love with everything. Yeah.
So thank you for the comment, our country rep. And now it's time. Can we all like have a round of applause for Patricia and Sumi?
Hi,
Patricia,
everyone.
you're here, right? Yes,
Yeah.
welcome.
Okay, so this piece actually speaks for itself, but I would love to say something after, not before.
Yeah.
Its title is Mothered Out. No, I don't want kids. What about your future husband? What about his family legacy? What about your mom? She wants grandkids, right? That's what you're for anyway. So why wouldn't you want kids? You're still young. I'm sure you'll change your mind when you meet someone. Who do you think you are? Not to want kids, not to give me grandkids. Do you want to be alone? Do you have fertility issues? There's IVF, you know. These are all the things they say to me. My favorite came from my own mom. I know you want to do your master's, but just have one child. From the moment they're born, they'll be my responsibility. You leave, and I'll take care of everything. You won't have to worry. How do I explain to the world that I have been mothering since the universe gave me to my mom as a firstborn? That with two younger brothers and working parents, I have been the present rock and moral compass for a house I didn't ask to be in charge of. Take care of your brothers. Why isn't the homework marked? Why are they still playing at a neighbor's house this late? On the day I walked home alone because the school bus left me, my dad told my mom as he watched the 8 p.m. news not to worry. That girl will be fine. I was 8. No, I don't want kids. It took me years to understand that I don't have to be responsible for everyone's mistakes. Even longer to accept that rebellion was never meant to be a luxury. It was a rite of passage I was denied. If I made the same mistakes my brothers did and got punished while they walked away with just scolding, why not stand my ground and make decisions for me? So no, I don't want kids. It's not a health issue. And if it were, it's still not your business. It ends there. So this piece wasn't written from a place of anger really or hurt. It was from a place of being tired, of being questioned. Why? Like, I think I just had this discussion with my mom last night because she said, I gave birth to you. So what do you mean you don't want to have a child? And I explained to her that you wanted that. You made the choice. So yeah, this is me making that choice again for myself. Thank you.
And that is my
Thank
accountability partner. Woo-hoo!
Flowers.
Anyways, yes, she needs her flowers. And before I can even add anything, first I want to give her what I don't even know what to give her because this is big and it's a conversation that is not really being heard or literally not being understood by so many people. This is something that will stereotype even with some of our friends who they expect that at this and this way. While anyone can do what they want, it's a preference. So I think it's something that we're supposed to embrace, and we're supposed to respect people's decisions. They know what's best for them. We're supposed to actually respect and actually be supportive. So accountability, good for you and awesome. I think these are conversations again that we still need to have more of so that people can come to understand and literally also make life choices. I mean, some are just doing things out of peer pressure or trends and stuff like that. But to be your preeminent self and choose what's best for you is definitely the way to go. So thank you so much, accountability partner. This was a good one as well. See, this is why I told Nympha that she doesn't know that there's a lot of diamonds in the rough in Tanzania. And that's why I was rooting so much for these girls, because now see what they're showing you. Yay!
Nympha, you got something to say to that?
I'm also very, very grateful to Sheila because without Sheila, this event wouldn't have happened. I mean, Sheila represented you all well. Sheila, she came to me with that idea, and I saw it as a worthy one, and I'm very fulfilled that you all are sharing your poems here. Of course, this video is going to be present. Is going to be either available online as well. So more people are going to see what you've done beyond this particular session. Do you understand? So yeah, I'm very happy and thank you all so much for sharing so far. But can we just take a little break? I know that we have, but let's just break the session a bit. If I want Paul to speak so that I get Paul's speech before we can continue with the rest of the what's it called, the rest of the contributors. I just hope that all of them are here. Yeah, I know Emanuela is here as well, but yeah, Paul, or representative of Bongo Poetry, if you have anything to say. Lydia already told us about her the programs that they're having. So we want to learn more about what Bongo Poetry is doing and how our Tanzanian sisters can participate, contribute, or be a part of what you're doing. So over to you, Paul. Thank you.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
I thought sending a representative would be nice because like it's a women event, Yeah, but I'm glad to be here. This thing have been warm, nice, and the poems from the beginning to now from Lydia, Patricia, and others. You guys are doing a very nice thing. Okay, about Bongo Poetry. It's a young platform which I founded just to help young poets who are coming up and to get a place where they can have a space where they can share their works, and learn also. So we started like a community. When I finished high school, it was just a WhatsApp community, and the community is still there till today. People send poems. If it's encouraging each other, telling each other what to correct, how to improve sometimes. And back then we were also having challenges, the prompts for poems, so everyone can challenge themselves to write more. Yeah, and also we have been having events, but few days, few months we have been quiet. But this year we have an open mic, which is happening on April 10th, and every girl, every woman who has participated in the book is welcome to perform. The stage is yours. Come grace us with your magical words, because I always believe poetry was not written just to keep inside, even if it's about you, but being honest with your poem or being honest when you are writing makes you to connect with other people. Yeah, So that's all. And another thing, I really appreciate what Lydia is doing, and in Asusa, I saw the grant yesterday. It's really nice and shows that poetry in Tanzania is growing, and even doing this event, collaborating with the dynamic, the poets from Tanzania collaborating with Nigerians or other countries, it shows that poetry is growing, and I'm very glad, and that's my biggest dream, that Tanzanian poetry should not just end in Tanzania boundaries, but we have to expand, move to other regions, to other countries, to other continents, and that's my biggest dream about Bongo Poetry also. So and I believe through collaborating and partnering with others like this, we're going to change. We're going to change the world. We're going to change the narrative about poetry, especially the modern poetry. And because in our country there's this discussion between modern poetry and the oldest poetry, but I think there is a big space for modern poetry. There's big future for modern poetry than oldest poetry form. And I'm not doing that to discourage anyone who is doing the oldest poetry, but I believe like in collaborating and building something which is powerful. Even it doesn't matter if it's older, modern, but with all one vision that we have to take this art and to the somewhere where it should be, because it's great. Yeah, that's all. And thank you, everyone who was here. It's amazing.
Thank you so much, Paul. I'm so glad you're here. Like I said, I'm part of the UK Women Network for the Same Side campaign for Gen Equal. So I love it when men participate in women-led events. So I'm very glad that you didn't send a representative, that you were here physically yourself. I mean, like present yourself. So thank you so much for that encouragement. I'm very excited to collaborate with your organization to bring, like I said, we're going to be having peer reviews at intervals. I mean, who could have, I don't know if there has been any, this will be my first time organizing a poetry event and it's online. So it makes sense if we can have more people to join in and have like more, voices from across the globe, and also to have peer reviews on poems, apart from just saying, oh, your poetry is good or something, we could say, oh, this could be better or that could be better as well, or maybe the message could be passed in this other way and it could have, I mean, something like that to just make poetry better from that perspective. But yeah, thank you so much for your presence and for the future collaboration and for the participatory engagement of Tanzanian poets in our anthology in your program. So I'm very excited. Over to you, Zainab. Thank you.
Thank you. It was nice having men in women's spaces. So we're gonna continue with our readings. Who's ready to hear some more poetry? Are we ready? Let's send reactions. So, as a quick request, I would like for us to like mute our mics when the readers are doing the reading, because there's some static. Maybe it's just in my end, but let's do that. So, welcoming Faith Andrew to do the reading next. The stage is yours, my lady.
Hello?
Here we go.
Hi, Faith.
Can you hear me?
Faye.
Can
Yeah.
we see?
We can
Can
hear
we see
you
your
loud and
beautiful
clear.
face, Faith?
We can hear you.
Sheila, my beautiful face has been on a 16-hour drive back here, so it's not that beautiful.
Oh. Okay.
First of all, hi, Lydia.
Hi, Faye. Pulling a safari.
Thank you. So, I don't know if you guys can hear me. I really hope you do, because I really did want to put a video, and then I realized half of my face is not even woman-like. So I'm gonna be Can you also hear me? I'm so sorry. Because I'm gonna read my poem.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yay!
Yes.
So I'm gonna read the poem that I applied on the Lady Dynamique Network on the book. I actually have the book right here, but I feel like I should recite it better because I think that'll be like a lot more appealing. So the title of the poem is "We Are Women," and I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Who was a woman? The question lives rent-free in my mind and it demands a convincing reply. So to the society, I chose to confide. But their replies had no clarity as they showered me with varieties. A woman should not be her body. A woman should be her kitchen. A woman is supposed to be her husband. A woman should be her children. And I can bet the word woman and the word supposed to should never have met. A woman is property. Let me tell you what a woman is about. Do I look like a house to you? As she graces the hands of a plow and digs the... Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. It's very confusing right now. I'm sorry. Zena, can we please go to the next person? I'm not really feeling the best right now. Can I please get a rain check right now?
Okay, we'll get back to you later.
I am so sorry.
Just get better for all of us. We need you alive.
Paula thing. I
Thank
can
you.
actually attest to that, guys. I was with Faye, and she's been organizing stuff for us the whole week. She's been working the whole week. So she's being serious when she says that, she's been on the road for 16 hours. I took a flight back because I had to do this, but she's definitely been on the road. Thank you, Faye.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Thank you for understanding.
Some water would
Oh.
help.
No worries,
So-
Faith. It was your poem that I read at UEL, so it's kind of resonated. Your poem is, coincidentally the last poem, and it made so much sense that it was a summary. I mean, it's just sort of summarized our poetry collection for us. But yeah, definitely would be more time to read your poetry. But thank you for, contributing as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nympha.
Real sorry for that. So, can we move on? Hello?
Please.
Okay, I am going to welcome Renata Ngogo. Renata was super active in organizing all of this. She made all of this happen. So, Renata, are you here?
Yes, I am here. I hope you can all hear me.
Yes, yes.
So this is actually my first time reading out a poem to people. So you'll excuse me if I will underperform and underdeliver. My poem goes with the name Alkeblan. It's actually an old name for Africa. And it goes like, her skin radiates in the sun, smooth, deep and brown, rare and strong. Her eyes bright yet dry, dried in the long days of history, now devoid of tears and filled with fears. Her black lips chant prayers like incense to her forefathers, longing for peace, for order. On her face, a string of sweats, quietly sinking into the ocean, smelling of cinnamon and cloves, sign of good luck, passion, and love. Her bosom feeds the savannah, with nipples still erect, from the cape of her heights. Men travel and invest, seeking a taste, an insight. In her chest, a fluttering heart, her pulse wild, untamed, pumping, streaming blood, but alas, not that of life, rather blood reeking of death. This is a riddle and a puzzle I have set. May the wise man bet, solve, sort, and write. Thank you. So I wrote this poem. Primarily, I was actually thinking of Africa as a whole. If you read it, you'll just find it's like a map. The skin, the whole of it, the eyes, which are dry, the regions in the savannah, in the Sahara, yeah, and the islands are reflected by all these cinnamon farms and cloves. The East African, the Naples and the Capes, and the map actually ends with the middle of Africa, the Central Africa, that the Congo and all that is still steaming blood and it's wild. It was, I wrote it as a reply to, it was someone's puzzle, and I wrote it as a reply and hoping that the person would reply more. And thank you for listening.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Do we have comments from the audience? Can we react to it? Lisa raised the hand. Lisa, welcome for a couple of minutes of feedback.
Well, so the first time can you hear me, Dave?
Yes.
So the first time I read her title, Alkebulan, I started asking her like, what does Alkebulan mean? Where did you get it? Then after coming to read the poem, and I saw that this Alkebulan is actually a person. And now that I am listening to her, I'm getting the picture that it's not a person. She put Africa, but Africa as a person. Africa as a person who has all these characters inside of her. And I think that is a very, very nice presentation of the place where I actually is. Thank you.
I love the art that was put into this. So we're going to our next reader, Ruth Mlawa. Ruth, are you here? Ruth Mlawa. Okay.
I'm
Now I'm
present.
going to
Present.
Ruth. Yes, thank you. So you're welcome.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ruth Mlawa, and the piece that I have is titled Forgotten Royalty. They call her a queen, mama, homemaker, yet treat her like a slave. Brick by brick she builds, nurtures, plays doctor, nurse, peacemaker, fulfilling every role, receiving no crown. Yet in the still night, her body is a punching bag. Red marks lie underneath her soft black skin. The whole neighborhood plays deaf, and they play pretend as if they didn't hear her cries. The next morning, she wakes up again. They call her a queen, mama, homemaker. Yet no one questions what she wants to become. Housewife it is who you will be. I admit, when I was young, I wanted to become a queen. Cinderella was my role model. I'd look at her crown and say, how beautiful are women. Yet, is there a difference between a queen and a slave in my homeland? Is there any hope for traditions to honor her existence? Will she ever rise beyond these limits? Will the world adorn her and crown her for the queen that she truly is? Thank you. I grew up in Dar es Salaam. I was born and raised there. And I think one thing that was prevalent was wife beating. But when I came to Mwanza, in this town, wife beating, it looks like it's normal for the husband to beat a wife. Domestic violence looks too normal. It reached the point I was like, are these guys really serious? You know, people would be explaining it in a daladala. They are busy talking about it as if it's something normal, you know. And at this point, it was from that point that this poem came to life, you know, like speaking on, and I related to the fact on how when we are young, how men, you know, when they're trying to woo us, they call us queen, beautiful. But when you go to the next stage, you know, and reach into the home, you realize that they just name us as queens, but in reality, they don't treat us as such. So it's written for those women who pass, and it's a call to society to act on that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was beautiful. Do we have anyone who wants to say something about that? Lisa, welcome.
Sorry, I'm very much of a comment person and I just can't keep quiet and I'm related to something. I mean, I have two relations. Once when I was in an advanced level, there was this girl. And this girl always told me that she doesn't want to marry a Tanzanian man. And the reason is simple. She has witnessed so many men abusing their wives. And she doesn't want to do that anymore. So it made me remember her so much. Because she said that in her place it's normal to witness people being abused, being beaten. And I think especially in the north areas like Mwanza, I've lived in Tarime, and in Tarime there was this person, a woman, by the time I was a child, and she was beaten by her husband almost every single night. And there were neighbors, and the neighbors didn't do anything. They were just like, I live here. So it made me remember that. Thank you so much, Ro.
Thank you, Lisa, for the input. We have a question here from, where did that go? Anganile. He's asking, can someone explain how domestic violence was normalized? Is it cultural? I think Lisa has touched on that. Do you have any other comment from the audience?
Sorry. So I love yes, sorry, I think the connection is still kind of shady. I love the energy that she's put into expressing herself. And it's so sad how this is becoming also something that is being normalized. And I don't know why most of these things are just always like blanket situations whereby it's happening and no one is doing anything about it or nobody's talking about it. So also expressing it through some of the sessions that we're having like this is a good thing, because even in the comments I did read something. I think it was Anganile asking if it's been, hold on, he did ask a question about if it's been approved or something like that. Yes, if it's cultural. And I don't really think it's cultural, but it's one of those things that it's a blanket situation that people have decided to normalize. You beat and it's okay, and you have kids watching it and they're traumatized, and it becomes a whole different situation also when they grow up, you know? So yeah, I just love the energy that she put into explaining it. You really feel the sense of urgency in the poem on how she put it out there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I hope we have answered the question. So without any further ado, I'd like to welcome our last poetess on the list, Miss Emanuela Kiluma. Okay, sorry for that. Miss Emanuela Kiluma,
Okay.
you're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Zainab. Thank you, everyone. If you have the copy of the book, you can find my poem on page 146, and it's titled, I Never Chose Me. Okay. I was naive, but you were cruel. You could have walked away, yet you didn't. You stayed and made me pay. I hate me because I never chose me. You chose you, and I chose you. I hate me because I should have been there for me. Blame is a funny word. I don't blame. I learn. Fire burns, knives cut. You take from my cup and never refill. I envy her, the girl next to me. She always chooses herself, while I bleed for someone else. You knew what it was. You also knew what it wasn't. You should have left me before I lost me. I think I write my poems as well from a very personal approach, learning to take accountability as well and learning to have boundaries. But this was something that I wrote to help me go through a pretty difficult situation for me. So, yeah.
Well, I can say something about that. I always write personal, always write personal, helps me heal. It's like my way to unleash all of the trauma and stuff. So that I felt that. Thank you.
Thanks.
Do we have anything?
Yes, I also got to feel that Emanuela is expressing herself myself in a very personal note, according to the poem. Like, this is something that's coming from the heart. And honestly, I think interacting with you guys in the group, besides this and on here, is when I'm realizing I didn't know that there are people who actually use poetry to express themselves. Express themselves in terms of like personal, like, how do I put it? For lack of a better word, personal issues or personal things that they're going through. I always thought it was just some sort of art that's just spoken word. It's out there, but I didn't know that it could be a means of expressing yourself from a deeper point of view that actually helps you to heal. And it's something that I think I've learned from Emanuela and the rest of you guys from Lady Dynamique in the session and also in the group. It's just something that I never thought poetry does, but wow. Yeah.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
So, thank you for that. Thank you, our dear, beautiful writers. I have learned so much today. I'm inspired to be a much better writer. I will be like you soon. So, we have a poet rep from Bongo Poetry. Are you here? You have like 5 minutes max because we almost ran out of time. A poet rep from Bongo Poetry, Diana or Mariam. Are you here? Give me a nudge or
Yes,
something.
Mariam, I'm here.
Thank you so much. So we were almost about to kick you off our schedule, but thank you that you're here. We want to hear from you now.
Thank you. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Oh, I'll let you see.
Hi.
Excuse me. Okay, this is actually my first time actually reading something out to people. I hope it
Oh,
comes out great. The
it will.
poem is called Okay, the poem is called She Melted. She carried everyone's lives in her hand, family, friends, lovers, strangers, every scream, every secret, every grief pressed into her shoulder like stones. She carried it always because she believed that was her job. But the world is cruel in a very polite way. They called her fragile when she cracked. They called her dramatic when she bled. Selfish, they whispered. When she dared to ask even a drop of care, she poured in everyone else. Her mind, once quiet, began whispering back. The age blurred, thought tangled, twisted. Every story she swallowed coiled with her own until she could no longer tell whose pain was whose. And then she laughed in the middle of tragedy, cried in the middle of laughter, because the world had taught her how to vanish inside herself and no one noticed. They said she was unstable. She said she never, they said she never cared for herself. They never saw how she cared too much until it devoured her whole. Now she walks in half light, eyes brimming with storm, and secrets nobody wants to bear. She is no one's hero, only the shadow of everyone else's mistake, and the unfiltered madness that is entirely hers. Thank you, guys. Um, I'm into like dark poetry. I like to write tragedy and misfortune. I feel like we talk about how society treats us, but we never talk about how it affects us. Like, we listen. Most of women, we are more listeners and we care about everyone's problem. We carried everything, but how how does it affect us? How do we actually for so long that we forgot who we are? That's why I wrote this. She melted. Thank you, guys. Any question?
I have a comment. I think I
Okay.
didn't get her name. Sorry.
My
But
name is
Mariam. Wow. Okay. Hi, Mariam. So, I like the point that you've put across of whereby you're actually making us think about ourselves behind all these things that you get to do as a woman, as a person, all these titles and stuff, and thinking about who we really are, and also the fact that yeah, we're always trying to do things for each and everybody else, but who is taking care of you? Like, who's bothered with what you're going through? Which in most cases, no offense to the guys, but in most cases women have that thing whereby we're always taking care of the next person, doing the next thing and all that, but not really taking time to actually realize what is wrong with me, or who I'm going through, or who is supposed to help you out when you have your issues. But also the fact that you raised that, besides that, if you put all these other things at the side, the titles of being a woman, a mom, etc., and who are you as a person, was a very good one. I think it's profound and it's deep. It's beautiful. Nice work.
Yay. Thank you for
Thank you.
that. So we're almost out of time. We have like 4 minutes, 6 minutes. So 1 minute for a short reflection. Anyone who wants to tell us what they got from this, what we could do better, what went wrong. Anyone who wants to do a short reflection. We have anyone before we close?
I knew Lisa
Lisa,
was
thank
going
you.
to do.
Exactly. Lisa is my spirit animal. Lisa, you have 30 seconds.
Please don't forget I am a stubborn one. Well, if I can say one thing, the reflections were really beautiful. And like the way Miss Sheila put it, these poems are better when spoken than when written. Very much better when spoken. So I really enjoyed this session. Although I think one thing that went wrong is, like you can see, we are very few. And I think the problem is that most people are actually like, why are you doing poetry? I mean, because that's what I got when I posted this thing a lot, and I noticed that most people, when you post the poetry, like you want to do a poetry reading session, they're like, I don't know. I think they want something. I don't know what they want. They feel like reading is a bit boring. That's what I have noticed from most people. So I don't know. Maybe next time we could try to maybe give more time, or try to encourage more people, or maybe meet people who are actually in our cycle, who will actually understand when we tell them that we want to present our poems. But other than that, I have loved this session. I love hearing experiences of women, and I love women a lot. And hearing women experiences is something that is really healing. And I'll talk a lot. So thank you for the time.
Hi, I hope you guys can hear me.
Yes.
Okay, mine will be short. I think this gathering has showed us the importance of women's stories. We need more of this. We need more stories and experiences written for women, by women. And yeah, this is nice. That was it. Yeah, like I said, mine was short. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. So, Miss Sheila, you have the stage for the closing remarks. Yeah, welcome.
Okay. Wow. Okay. I hope I'm clear enough, because I'm not really well, for giving all these amazing people the opportunity to showcase their work. And especially, I think a big shout out to Nympha for believing in the craft of very many different people. And I think I should say that I've been more excited than most of you guys were, I think even in the group, it was noticeable that I was very excited for the fact that almost everyone's work actually was published on an international platform. It's not something that we get every day. And there's someone who's actually said that poetry hasn't been well received by, I think, some of our people. It's just that they've not gotten a chance to experience it. But at the same time, I believe so many of you have seen what poetry does, what it can do, and also the fact that even in this short span, in this session, it's gone a long way for all of us, right? People have made connections, people have learned new things, and I'm also for the connections 100%. I can't wait to hear from anyone who's willing to do like a whole collection, a whole volume. I'm here to support anyone that. And I would like to just say a few words to these people that had their work published. First, let me just throw in one joke before I even get to what I was saying. So yes, we should be very proud because you know that narrative of the way we can't speak English? And now that we've proved to the world that, yo, guys, we've not even been to what? Is that Terminal 3? But yo, if you hear the accents and the rich vocabulary in here, you're going to know that we're not playing with poetry, we're not playing with spoken word, we're not playing with the craft of words. And I also believe that knowledge that isn't shared is useless. So I think from the words that you guys have gotten from Lydia, if any of you isn't following her, please make sure that you do. There's a lot of things, and I believe we can learn from her to become even better poets, and also to connect with other people and grow through Lady Dynamique. For those of you that aren't or were not aware of Lady Dynamique, I think you've now seen how great this has been a platform for those whose work has been published on an international level, not just the local one. Yeah. So I think it's a big deal for you guys. And I just want to say congratulations. Your work is great. And it's even better, like I said, when it's spoken. And I just want to add just the last word. The sky is not the limit. That's why there's footprints on the moon. So go and be great. Write even greater poetry and make the most of all the connections that you've got. Blueprint, and I can't wait to do this again with you guys next time if it ever happens again. But yeah, it's been really, really nice. So thank you so much, everyone who's participated, who's come through. Thank you so much, Nympha, and thank you guys, Lady Dynamique Network and Lady Dynamique Tanzanian chapter. Thank you all, and I think it's a wrap, right?
Yes. Thank you all for joining. This was empowering and mind-opening and mind-wrecking. Thank you all for joining, and our time is up. We were right on time. Now I need my my applause because I kept the time. Thank you. Okay, we're done here. Bye.
Bye.
How do you sign off again?
Lisa. Bye.